Have you ever gotten a position or a promotion or advanced somewhere, not because of yourself? You wouldn't have been able to do it in yourself, but because you had someone of influence recommend you or refer you, you were able to get to that position. Let's talk about that in your morning cup of inspiration. About 22 years ago, I had a good friend who was fairly high up in an organization. And he recommended me for a pretty good position. It was a consultant position with a national company. I was hired as one of 7 and have been in this position 22 years, have loved every minute of it. And no, I would never have been able to get it without that person's referral or recommendation. I was reading a story in Acts the other day of the Bible. Same thing happened to Paul. Back then he was called Saul. If you remember the story, he had the Damascus Road experience where he was miraculously converted. But in the meantime, beforehand, he was brutal to the Christians, trying to get them killed, trying to shut the Christianity movement down. So as he went into Jerusalem to share, hey, I'm a Christian now, the Christians in Jerusalem didn't believe him. They were leery. It took Barnabas. It says in the 9th chapter of Acts 26 through 29 that Barnabas brought him to the apostles. So Barnabas put his arm around him, said, hey, he's with me. He's one of us. He took him there. And then he explained and told those Christians and told the Jerusalem church what God had told Saul. So then, the 29th verse, then they accepted Saul and he was constantly with them. But it took Barnabas to get them to accept Saul for who he now was. One other recommendation and referral that I don't want you to forget about. It's one we all need. It's Jesus. We cannot go before God with our sinful nature and the sin that so easily besets us without having someone like Jesus who can forgive us of our sins, who can cleanse us, who can make us righteous before a holy God. With that recommendation, we can go before the Father. Jesus comes along, puts his arm around us and says, hey, he's with me. And he explains to God, hey, he's accepted me. My blood's covered his sins. So let's take him in. And God most graciously does. If you have not received that referral, if you have not received that recommendation today, I pray that you would do it. God bless. Thanks for joining me for that morning cup of inspiration, and we'll see you next time.